welcome once again to another episode of Open Talk. In today's episode, our guest is Reem bin Shams. She is a Bahraini youth who took part in a week trip with Bahrain Youth Pioneer Society to the UK, and she will talk to us about her experience there. Welcome to our program, Reem.
Ahlin, hi.
Reem, to start with, can you tell me about your participation in the program?
Yes, so the Youth Pioneer Society had a program called Young Parliamentarians. It's a very nice program, but very extensive and very lengthy. It started from September and will be ending this month in March.
Okay.
This program itself, it represents the youth's voice. So it took this year 58 participants, and those 58 participants have gone through three stages, let's say. So the first stage was that they gave us workshops, and through these workshops we got to know how to make our vision, our mission, how to have debates and discussions, which was really, really helpful. So the second stage, which got to the fiery stage, which was there were real life simulations of the parliament. So we had to elect a president, we had to elect a deputy, and we started to debate on certain topics, which initially we chose, and then there were other topics that they also gave to us. And then the third stage is the stage we are in now, is where there were 10 elites chosen from the 58 participants, and they were taken to the United Kingdom. We visited Scotland and Britain. We visited NGOs, the parliament itself, the youth parliament, and then we had to come back and recommend programs which we think must be or could be implemented here in Bahrain.
Okay.
At the same time, those that did stay behind had to discuss the topics we all voted on during the table discussions.
Nice. So from this experience, you told me that you guys thought of programs. Could you tell us a few of the programs that you thought of?
Okay, this is really the fun part.
Okay.
Because one of the programs, let's say, was to give an internship hub. The internship hub is for the youth to have to be able to enter the workplace in a way that they are ready for it. So we have those that are in schools that don't know what the market needs. We have those that are in universities that only know theory and they do not know practical work. And we have those that graduate from university but are not getting an opportunity to get a job because their CV is empty and only has a certificate. So one of the ideas is that the internship hub helps the youth in this area. So it is bridging a gap between Bahrain and Bahrain's workplace and the youth itself. This is one of the ideas. Another idea was that there are award ceremonies for the NGOs in Bahrain. This idea came directly from an NGO called SCVO in Scotland, where they also did award ceremonies for the charity organizations. So it is just to recognize them, just to motivate them to do more, because they really have given importance to the third sector.
So can you tell me, from what I got to know, you have been to the youth parliament in Scotland.
Yes.
Can you tell me about your experience there?
To be honest, I was very shocked, surprised, in a good way. Because what I expected was youth sitting in uniforms, sitting in blazers, very formal, very adult-like. But when I got there, I realized that the age was from 14 to 25. So it's a very wide range. And for the youth themselves, they were given the chance to be themselves. They did not want them to think like adults. So let's take 14-year-olds. The 14-year-old may say that I have a problem because of the school cafeteria food in their public schools. Or one of the problems that was actually there is that in Scotland, and this also came to a shock to me, they told us that in Scotland there was a certain whistle that only the youth can hear. And it was used to assemble them within the trains or something of that sort. And that specific frequency had annoyed the youth to an extent that they could not stand it. Now, through the Scottish Youth Parliament, those youth, those 14, 15-year-olds told them that what you're doing is wrong. Maybe you cannot hear it, but we can. So that really did open my eyes to a lot of things.
So the fact that those youth are, some of them are teenagers, you're telling me 14-year-olds, they have the voice to try to implement things, that's very great.
Exactly.
So how would you, let's say if we were to have such kind of a thing in Bahrain, how would you see it?
It should not be mistaken that although it is what is happening in the Scottish Youth Parliament in Scotland is actually very successful, it doesn't mean we have to copy and paste their idea here, because societies differ.
Of course.
At the same time, I am against the idea that there should be only a youth parliament, only the youth should have a voice. I think that there should be a balance between both, which is very feasible here. What could happen is, a lot of things could happen. Bahrain is taking steps forward towards the right direction, which is something really, really great. They are empowering the youth, like the young parliamentarian that I'm in.
Yeah.
So we don't really find this in other places as well. So just to answer your question, I think it needs maybe a study, a research, just to get to know our culture here and how things would be implemented.
So taking a part in such a thing, as a lot of youth might not be interested in what you're doing, which is very great. What would you tell them to attract them to be a part of the society in such a way?
All right. To attract them not everybody has to be politically based or has to think of everything legally or has to say, all right, I want to represent the youth. There are always employers and employees. There are always people that lead and people that want to follow. People that give ideas, but they don't want to be out there. So I think I would not tell anybody you have to be a young parliamentarian. I would just say that the idea is a very good idea for you. So if you don't want to be a young parliamentarian, tell the young parliamentarians what to do or tell them what you're feeling so that in the end they would help you.
So as a youth, where do you see yourself in the future?
I don't really know, honestly. I think the problem here is I have a very wide vision.
Okay.
And the vision is that I want to help. I want to help Bahrain. I want to help our society. I want to be able to look back and say I have made a difference even though in one individual's life. But this is a very wide goal. So if your question is what career path I am taking, I'm currently a law student in the Royal University for Women, second year. So I'm exploring every field within the law field. So, for example, the moot court, have gone to BCDR within the field trip within RUW, have gone to the New York Model United Nations. So I'm experiencing every sort of field there.
That's nice. So, Reem, tell me, you were a participant with Youth Pioneers. Can you tell me about your experience with Youth Pioneers Society?
The experience is a very, I wouldn't say cozy, I would say very open. It's a very open feeling, a very open vibe. Like you could go to the trainers, you could go to the organizers and ask them, and which I have done a bunch of times. I've asked them, how can I improve? And they sat with me and they've had discussions, they stayed over time. So although the Young Parliamentarians, which is the only program I participated in the Youth Pioneers Society, although Young Parliamentarians started since September, I have grown so much from the program, not just because of the workshops and the debates, which I have grown from, but because of the one-to-one pep talks they have given me, from how they told me how to improve, what you should do, and what's the advantage and disadvantage I have. So it was a really great experience.
So it has added a lot of value.
A lot of value, alhamdulillah.
So after what I heard, they have this forum that's going to be this Saturday.
Yes.
Could you tell me more about the forum that they're...
Okay, so there's a forum on Saturday and a closing ceremony on Sunday. So this is where we're talking about the third stage.
Okay.
The nice thing about this forum is that the audience can interact as well. We will be discussing 3 topics, and within those 3 topics, people from the Young Parliamentarian Program will be talking about them with members of the Council of Representatives and members of the Shura Council. Okay. So that there is a fruitful discussion, we have done our research in order to tell them the Constitution says this, the legislation says this, the youth need this. So the topics we have chosen, the 3 topics we have chosen, are the ones that the 58 participants agree are the youth's opinion nowadays.
Okay.
And the closing ceremony that's going to happen on Sunday is one where everybody would be given their certificates, the participants would be recognized. At the same time, those who had traveled to the United Kingdom will be presenting the projects they think is feasible here in Bahrain.
Okay. So any last message that you would like to give all the youth out there?
Be yourselves. Be yourselves, because this is how you can contribute. I have thought for like the past few years that I'm supposed to be like the others. I'm supposed to be like the successful people, like Steve Jobs, or like the people we see here in Bahrain. This is not the youth. The youth should not think that they have to become older. They are themselves. They have their perspectives, and those perspectives are taken into consideration in society. So we should take our perspectives into consideration as well.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Reem, for being with us. I wish you all the best, and I would love to see you in the Parliament one day.
One day.
One day, inshallah. Thank you very much, dear.
Thank you.
Once again, our guest today was Reem bin Shams. Thank you for watching Open Talk. Have a good evening.